It is a land enchanted by timeless myth, an ancient paradise given birth by Earth's fire. Living in the spirit of the people who discovered this magical oasis, no other place on Earth can share its place in our soul like Hawaii. Come with us as we discover Hawaii's Big Island. See this island like never before and discover the hidden places. Learn about the rich history and culture of the Hawaiian Islands. Explore Hawaii with the people who make it so amazing. As we take a video postcard tour of Hawaii's Big Island. Aloha! Welcome to the Hawaiian Islands, famed as a unique, exotic beauty that nature has set apart from all others. In fact, no other location is more isolated from any other landmass on our planet. Indeed, Hawaii stands apart from all other destinations. Aloha, I'm Maria Koban. Join us as we bring you a window into the people, culture, history, and lifestyle of Hawaii, the Big Island. I was raised in the Hawaiian Islands. I was fortunate to have the islands as my childhood home. My family, my friends, my people, and the culture are very dear to me, and I'm excited to share it with you. I invite you to take this journey with me as we explore Hawaii's Big Island, and then come and experience what we believe is the closest place to heaven on earth. Mahalo. The Hawaiian Islands are actually the tops of a massive oceanic mountain range that rises from the ocean floor. Mauna Kea on the Big Island, measured from its base, is actually taller than Mount Everest and is often capped with snow. As the mountains catch the clouds, they draw rain, making these islands a lush oasis, adorned with spectacular waterfalls. Today we see the results of nature's evolution, a lush, inviting, tropical paradise that deeply touches all who visit here. The Hawaiian people are rich in culture and history. Before we embark on our journey throughout the island, shall we take a few steps back in time and learn more? Come with me to a place where it all began. The history of Hawaii is full of epic voyages of discovery and idyllic isolation. Kings and queens, heroes and villains, the rise and fall of kingdoms, treachery, greed, revolutions, and even war. And the history still lives in a powerful remembrance of past events and traditions that have helped form the people we are today. And when it comes to our people, nothing better defines us than the language that seeded our culture.
Hawaiian people did not use writing, and so unlike us today, they were not able to write down their own history, to remember important people, important events, important stories. Therefore, all of their records were kept by memory.
Everything that we knew from the beginning of our history was committed to memory and recited and chanted, sung. If you were a hula dancer or if you were a chanter, you were held in very high esteem because basically you would be the textbooks, you would be the libraries of ancient Hawaii.
The men were the original performers, and for many, many years and centuries, hula was tradition.
The Polynesians were tremendous ocean voyagers, and they explored the entire Pacific. They navigated in large double-hulled ocean-going canoes. They made use of the stars, the moon, the wind currents, the ocean currents, looking at the swells of the ocean. It's well established that they were probably here somewhere between AD 200 and 500 in terms of colonizing.
Life was simple on the island paradise, secluded out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Family relationships were very strong, and the people lived very well off the abundance the land could provide them. However, the Hawaiian people had no idea how their lives were about to change forever. Early Hawaiians lived in a paradise untouched by the outside world until January 20th, 1778, when Captain James Cook and his expedition made its first European contact with the Hawaiian people on the islands of Kauai and Niihau. On that day, Hawaii's long isolation from the world came to an end. This was the beginning of new and sometimes tragic chapters in Hawaiian history. A large crowd of people, led by their chiefs, had gathered along the shore to see Captain James Cook en route from the South Pacific. He had stumbled upon the Hawaiian Islands, breaking centuries of isolation for the Hawaiian people. Captain Cook was thought to have been mistaken as a returned god.
Captain Cook is very important, more almost as a symbol than necessarily him as an individual, because Captain Cook was the first outsider, the first Westerner to visit Hawaii, and the first one to really bring significant changes.
As the two cultures mixed over time, Cook's men and other sailors, with their constant demands for food and women, began to try the patience of the hospitable Hawaiians. Many disagreements arose. The Hawaiians also began to wonder if Captain Cook really was a god. An item was stolen from one of the ships on the night of February 13th, 1779. Cook and his men assumed the Hawaiians stole it. Cook's men fired upon a canoe attempting to leave the harbor, and the outraged Hawaiians counterattacked, killing 4 Marines and Cook himself. Both sides deeply regretted their actions when things subsided.
After Cook's visit and after his death here, and after the publicizing of that death back home in England and throughout Europe, more and more people knew about Hawaii.
From the time of the first contact in 1799, more than 40 more ships arrived bringing hard liquor, tobacco, materials, weapons of war, more animals, and devastating diseases. In less than 100 years, 90% of the native Hawaiians are thought to have died. Among the most devastating diseases to hit the Hawaiians was the scourge of leprosy. Father Damien dedicated his life to helping the lepers who had been sent to the island of Molokai to prevent the spread of leprosy. He too died of leprosy in 1889.
The man that we know today as Kamehameha the Great occupies a very significant role in Hawaiian history. He is the first ruler, the first monarch to rule over all of the Hawaiian Islands as a group. Kamehameha, through warfare and through diplomacy and negotiation, managed to unite all of the Hawaiian Islands into one political entity.
When Westerners arrived, hula was Hawaii's living theater. It was also a form of religious rite to honor the gods and the chiefs. The sacred hula was delicate, artistic, and a subtle form of expression mastered only after long years of apprenticeship under a master teacher. Early missionaries did not like the hula. The sensual movements set to hypnotic island rhythms made the hula offensive to their narrow and often ignorant worldview. Hawaiians were already demoralized by the destructive Western ways and saw that the missionaries were moving to abolish the hula.
There was a time here in Hawaii when we were forbidden by law. The hula and chanting was banned. And to be caught dancing in public, you would be arrested and fined $500 minimum. And if a native Hawaiian didn't have $500 in the 1850s, then you'd put be put into prison. And in 1874, our last king of Hawaii, King Kalakaua, he not only lifted the ban on hula, but he encouraged the masters who were still living to teach, to train.
In 1887, a group of businessmen who had grown prosperous on sugarcane led an armed revolt to restrict the king's powers. During this power struggle, King Kalakaua died, and his sister Princess Liliuokalani succeeded him. A very strong and brilliant woman, and the last Hawaiian monarch, Queen Liliuokalani, would valiantly fight for the rights of her people. When the Queen attempted to bring forth a new constitution that would place the voting power back in the hands of the citizens, a group of anti-royalists launched a revolt. She was imprisoned in the Iolani Palace for 8 months, and when released, continued to work to ensure justice for her people until her death in 1917. A provisional government was imposed. They went on to set up the Republic of Hawaii and continued the injustices. William McKinley signed papers annexing Hawaii as a U.S. territory in 1898. James Dole arrived that same year and later sowed 12 acres with 75,000 pineapples on Oahu. By 1900, sugar became the primary industry of the Hawaiian Islands. Inter-island air flights began and tourism took off, with luxury liners arriving, and the expansion of plantations kept the economic depression of the 30s from having a serious impact on Hawaii.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
The event that forever etched Hawaii as part of common historical knowledge happened on Sunday morning, December 7th, 1941, when Pearl Harbor was attacked by the Japanese Imperial Navy. In less than 2 hours, Japan managed to destroy virtually the entire American Pacific Fleet based at Oahu. After World War II, air travel became more commonplace. By the 1950s, jet travel was introduced and put the Hawaiian Islands less than 5 hours away from the West Coast. On August 21, 1959, President Dwight Eisenhower added another star to the American flag, announcing statehood for Hawaii. This launched a building boom, and people began to flock to the Hawaiian Islands. Welcome to Hawaii, the Big Island. Hawaii is big in every way, not just size, but what it has to offer: adventure, relaxation, world-class ocean activities, magnificent resorts, and much more. Hawaii is so big that all the other Hawaiian islands combined only make up half of its 4,000 plus square miles. 5 massive volcanoes made up this island: Mauna Loa, Mauna Kea, Kilauea, Hualalai, and Kohala. This is the island that gave the whole archipelago its name. It is unlike any place on Earth, with its sun-drenched beaches, snow-capped mountains, deserts, rainforests, massive cattle ranches, acres of flowers, and the world's most active volcano. This island is well deserving of its new nickname, the Island of Adventure.
Hawaii is a very special place. People are not just looking for a beach and a coconut tree. What they're looking for is a place that's kind, that's considerate, and you find it in the state of Hawaii. But I'm really proud because you actually really find it a lot over here. Take your time, look at this beautiful area. This is green. This is what Hawaii is all about. Hilo is a real live Hawaiian town, and visitors like to come and share in our local experience, you know. So you come to Hilo and you mingle, you eat at local restaurants, you take your time, you slow down, you know, and smell the flowers, listen to the birds sing, watch the waterfalls, meet the people, feel the kindness. Then you go up to the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park.
We are at one of the #1 destination spots in Hawaii, at Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. We are looking into Kilauea Caldera, which is the summit of the volcano of one of the world's most active volcanoes that has been in eruption now since 1983. And just short of the surface where we're standing, less than a quarter mile, is where the magma reservoir is located. And all of the hot magma, which is liquid rock that comes from deep below the Earth's surface, it comes up to the summit area and it can move out along the rift zone, which it has in the last 21 years, and finding a very weak spot and just coming to the surface as lava flows. And on a daily basis, hundreds of thousands of cubic yards of lava is either coming out on the surface of the Earth or moving in underground lava tube systems and traveling for miles from the summit down to the ocean. In the last 21 years, we have added on more than 200 acres of land to the Big Island. Well, it's one of the very few places that you can come in the world and to be able to see the newest land on Earth being formed. Even as we are standing here at Kilauea Volcano, there is a brand new island that's being formed underwater that's called Loihi. And Loihi is about 3,000 feet underwater. Although our volcanoes are generally gentle flowing lava flows, it is still very dangerous. Visitors need to remember to stay on the trail, to come to the visitor center to speak with the rangers so that they will know where they can go safely.
Be sure to stop into the Visitor Center first for your map, free movie about the park, tips from the rangers, and an overall understanding of what you're about to venture into. Just around the corner from the Visitor Center, you'll find a lava tube that you can walk through and explore. There's a special place on Hawaii with a story that began with a teenage boy that left home for an oceanic adventure at the end of the 18th century. Welcome to Parker Ranch. Parker Ranch was founded by John Palmer Parker of Massachusetts, who arrived in Hawaii in 1809 at age 19.
John Palmer Parker became an acquaintance of King Kamehameha I, who liked him and knew that he was a good hunter. And at that time, the islands, especially the Big Island, had a lot of wild cattle that became a problem for the Hawaiians. And so being a great shot and helping to control the population of cattle really brought him close to the king, and he became an advisor to the king.